I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, SummerSlam for me is like interest in SummerSlam for me is at an all-time low. All right, it's at an all-time low.
There's a guy on Twitter, I guess, named Joe Cronin.
And he's got a cool way of talking in the microphone. You suck, Joe Cronin, fucking shit, and or some various version of that.
You're listening to the Joe Cronin Show.
Don't forget to like, comment, and body slam that subscribe button.
This is the epic voice guy, and I can honestly say, Joe Cronin is god awful, that is. You guys seriously listen to this guy? And now it's time for the Joe Cronin Show.
And he's got a cool way of talking in the microphone.
I just can't bring myself to be excited about SummerSlam at this point. You know, I really don't feel that way. Support us on Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show, Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Of course, visit the website, JoeCroninShow.net, and follow me on Twitter at Real Cronin on Twitter. Come enjoy the battle with me on fucking Twitter, the censorship of, well, good old Twitter. But, you know, try to be able to do a few more things. Make sure you, Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. I just can't get excited about this card, man. I can't do it. I'm looking at the cards, and I'm just like, man, fuck this. I don't know. Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak. Turn the fucking Christ. This music is, oh my God, it's playing over and over again. Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight Championship. All right. That will happen. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. You know, this is a pretty surprising situation. You know, we really thought, I mean, they have kept, they have kept Jeff Hardy safer by not having him have to compete and do a lot of climbing the ropes. Perhaps the nerve situation that he was dealing with isn't as bad as we thought. I mean, maybe. But, I mean, clearly he had nerve issues, nerve damage, something with his nerves. We know that about Jeff Hardy. And we know that that's part of why they've been treating him the way they have, where, like, you know, Randy Orton's pulling on his ear, and he's not taking these huge, huge bumps. He's not having to really, it's a lot of up and down climbing and running and stuff like that they don't want Jeff doing. You could see him running the other day, he had trouble. And then you got Matt Hardy who's breaking down too. I mean, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, on paper for a second, you think that this would be a pretty good SummerSlam when you look down at the cards, courtesy of GameSpot.com articles. But you know, when you think about everything, I don't know, man. Let's try to make the argument. I mean, so Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy, right? Probably, you know, you almost think obviously Randy Orton's going to play some kind of role in that. I don't care that much about that match. Assuming this is the correct match card, I think it is. And I'm not wrong. Carmella versus Charlotte versus Becky, SmackDown Women's Championship. Not too interested in that at this point. I would have rather just Becky. I think Becky probably will win it. I think Becky may win it. I think Charlotte is actually there, maybe just to make everybody think, oh shit, Charlotte could win this. You know what I mean? So Becky can be a little bit of a surprise in a way. So I'd probably go Becky. Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. We've already seen it a million times at this point. I would have been more interested in seeing Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins at this point for the title than Dolph Ziggler at this point. I thought that was eventually what they're going to do. It may still be what they do, but right now I'm not as interested in it. But seems to be they're doing Ziggler, Seth. Not seen it a million times on Raw, it feels like. And then they've already had matches. It doesn't make any sense to me, so I'm confused there. Braun versus Kevin Owens. For some reason, Braun Strowman has to put up his money in the bank. He's being punished. For what reason, I'm not really sure of. I don't get it, why he's being punished. So all that talk about making Kevin Owens seem like he's the good guy in this, but then punishing Braun, I mean, it's back and forth. It's 50-50 booking, 50-50 heel and face booking. Like, they don't know what's going on in this. They really convoluted this weird rivalry that made no sense in the first place, and it's just trash. So you just have all these situations that are just bizarre and stupid. And this is one of the worst, got to be one of the worst builds to a SummerSlam that I can remember. Like, I'm going into SummerSlam thinking, well, let's hope the matches are good, because other than that, I really couldn't give much of a shit. Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey has probably a little bit more. There goes the goddamn Amazon dot. Shut up. Even though Ronda Rousey hasn't been there, Ronda Rousey hasn't always been there, this is still one of the better booked things on the show, right? One of the better booked things on the show, and it's still not booked that well because Ronda wasn't even around for most of this situation. It was like her attacking other people or whatever the case. I really thought this should have been built a little bit better. I mean, we have 2 more weeks, so, I maybe shut my mouth there, and, we still have more weeks to build to all of these. But right now, I'm not excited about SummerSlam. The only other 2 things that you can say is Lesnar and Reigns has been booked, to an extent, has been booked pretty well, I guess, except once again no one's really sure who the good guy and bad guy is, and also we're getting Reigns and Brock Lesnar again. I just don't care. I don't even care if they do something shocking. I'm telling you, if Roman Reigns doesn't turn heel by this match or the night after this match, I mean, I am just, why in the world did they do this? I am so bored with this crap. It is awful. They need to pull the trigger on something because this is getting old quickly. It's been old. It was old at WrestleMania. It was old for the fans at WrestleMania. Why would you do it at SummerSlam? It makes no sense. No. I don't know. But AJ Styles and Samoa Joe does have some decent build. And so that is probably the thing on this card that I enjoy the most, because with the little bit of a sort of story they're telling and with the idea of AJ versus Samoa Joe in WWE this way, I'm fairly mostly interested in this, but I'm concerned, man. I'm just very concerned about SummerSlam at this point. We'll see what they do over the next, whatever it is, 2 weeks. I don't know. We got Smackdown tonight. What do you guys think? Anyway, a bunch of bonus stuff on Patreon. I did a hangout earlier. We had 10, 15 people sign up. People are upping their pledges everywhere. Don't be silenced. Be a part of our Patreon, and make sure you guys are aware of my website, joecroninshow.net, in case something happens. Also, Twitter, @RealCronin. You never know when that's going to go down with the censorship of this entire world right now. Yeah, patreon.com/JoeCroninShow. Support what we do here. Support this show. If you guys want to help me out, and you want 30 hours of bonus content a month, check out Patreon. My name is Joe Cronin. I will see you guys tonight after SmackDown. I would almost bet my left hand on SmackDown beating Raw last night, because Raw was so abysmal last night. I can't even begin to describe how just terrible Raw was last night. I'll see you tonight. Watch these other videos you might have missed here on the Joe Cronin Show, and subscribe below.
Body slam that subscribe button.
This is the Epic Voice Guy, and I can honestly say, Joe Cronin is god awful, that is. You guys seriously listen to this guy? And now it's time for the Joe Cronin Show.
And he's got a cool way of talking in the microphone.